Dear viewers, welcome to our channel GVS Bank Academy. Today I am going to present part 5 of Principle and Practice of Banking, recalled questions, earlier exam questions, which are very important for preparation. Question number 91, Assessment of Working Capital Methods. Assessment of Working Capital Methods. In the banks, what are the methods are available for working capital assessment? That is the Normally, in the banks, three methods are there. We are going to discuss the three methods. First, turnover method, projected annual turnover method or projected sales method or turnover method. Under this method, working capital limits up to 5 crores. Working capital limits up to 5 crores. So banks can consider under turnover method. Under turnover method, bank finance, bank cash credit loan limit is 20% of projected turnover. Bank loan amount is 20% of projected annual turnover. Under borrower margin or parties margin is 5% of turnover. Bank limit is 20 and parties margin is 5% of turnover. This is under turnover method. Under projected and accepted annual turnover method, loan limit, working capital limit up to 5 crores, we can consider under turnover. Out of turnover, 20% of the projected turnover is bank loan, bank cash credit limit, and remaining 5% is the borrower margin. That is there. Now, B. Tandon Committee second method of lending. This is also one committee recommended for working capital assessment in the banking industry. Under this Tandon Committee second method of lending, all banks are following this method also. Limit, working capital limit 5 crore and above. Working capital limits 5 crores and above. And limits up to 50 crores. Normally banks are following Tandon Committee second method of lending. Working capital limits 5 crore and above up to 50 crore Tandon Committee second method of lending. Under this method, what is the margin of the borrower? Borrower's margin is 25% of total current assets. From the party's balance sheet, total current assets into 25% is the party's margin or borrower's margin. And under Tandon Committee second method of lending, one more thing is that is under Tandon Committee second method of lending, current ratio is 1.33:1. Means every 1 rupee current liability, current assets must be 1.33. 1.33, that is the current ratio. These are the conditions for Tandon Committee second method of lending. Cash budget, working capital limit of 50 crores and above, normally banks are following cash budget method. Working capital limits 50 crores and above, cash budget. And seasonal industries, agriculture related seasonal industry, software industry, construction activities industry, film industry, service sector industries, non-banking financial companies, cash budget method you are following. What method you are following under cash budget? 50 crores and above, we are following, banks are following cash budget method. Working capital 50 crores and above, limits are there, cash budget. In addition to cash budget 50 crores and above, seasonal industries, software industry, construction activities related industries, film industry, service sector, and non-banking financial companies finances. Irrespective of this limit, banks are following cash budget method. For these industries, 50 crores, irrespective of the limit, banks are following cash budget method. So these are the three methods which banks are following. One is turnover method, loan up to 5 crores, one method. Second method, Tandon Committee, second method of lending, that is 5 crores and above up to 50 crores. Second method, this is one method. Second, Third one is cash budget method. 50 crores and above the cash budget. These are the three methods are there in banking working capital assessment. Now, question number 92, factoring. This is very important question. Almost each and every time they are asking one or two questions on principle and practice of banking. Normally, factoring is a service that is concerned with financing and collection of receivables. So, factoring means management of receivables, bills receivables. Management of bills receivables either in domestic or in international trade, a factoring. Normally, what this is a factoring agency, we have taken a license from RBI. They are purchasing the bills from the companies. And companies are also selling their bills receivable to the factoring agency. Both way it is there. What is the benefit of factoring to the corporates? All the credit sales means bills receivable. Credit sales means bills receivables are going to be discounted or selling to factoring agency immediately after completion of the sale transaction. So the companies are converting the credit sales into cash sales by selling their bills receivable to factoring agency. Benefit of factoring to the company is liquidity management. Liquidity management, and immediately they need not maintain much amount under receivables. That is the benefit of factoring. Again, factoring, domestic factoring and international factoring. Domestic factoring, receivables arising only from domestic sale, or international factoring that is related to exports sales administration. And in international factoring, there are two factors are there. One is export factor, another one is import factor. This question was also asked in December 2020. In international factoring, how many factors are there? Two. One is export factor, another one is import factor. Recourse factoring and non-recourse factoring. Under recourse factoring, any bad debts are there in the bills receivable, that amount is going to be borne by the customer. Company has to bear that risk. Non-payment to bad debts of bills receivables. Whereas non-recourse factoring means the factoring company, the factoring agency, the factoring firm will bear the risk. Normally, companies are going for non-recourse factoring. Non-recourse factoring. So, factoring means this is one type of liquidity management to the companies. Under this factoring, companies are immediately converting the credit sales into cash sales by selling the account receivables, bills receivables to the factoring agency. So liquidity management will improve. Forfeiting. This is exporter transfers his right after completion of the export transaction. The exporter all the bills he transferring his right in the bills to in favor of a forfeiting company. This is also just like factoring. Forfeiting is an agency which they are doing this business. When an exporter transfer his right in favor of a forfeiter, then that is called forfeiting. Under forfeiting without recourse only or non-recourse. Under without recourse, non-recourse means after transferring his bills, any default is there in these export bills, the risk has to be borne by the forfeiting agency. Forfeiting agency. Exporter is relieved from the forfeiting is a very highly effective tool. It is a very highly effective tool which improves the cash flows, which improves the liquidity of the exporter and eliminates the risk of the exporter. So there are so many risks are there in export bills, export business. Once he is selling his bills receivable, bills under exports, he is going to be relieved from all the risks in this. That's why this is a forfeiting is a very highly effective tool from the viewpoint of export. This is question number 33. Very, very important. Question number 94. Payment in due course. NI Act Section 10. This is a normally routine question. NI Act Section 10. Payment in due course meant, this is the definition as per NI Act Section 10. In simple words, payment in due course means bank has to make payment as per apparent tenor of the instrument. Whose name is appearing on the instrument, to him the bank has to pay. At the time of payment, the bank has to act good faith. At the time of payment, the bank has to act with good faith and without negligence. With good faith and without negligence. And at the time of making the payment, the bank has to believe that he is entitled to receive the payment. To whom the bank is making the payment, he is truly entitled to receive the payment of the amount therein mentioned. So, bank has to act in good faith without negligence, and the person who is receiving the amount under check is having a right to receive. This is called as payment in due course. Now, in the examination they are asked check payment after office hours. It cannot come under payment in due course. So, check has to be paid within banking hours only. Check payment after banking hours not comes under payment in due course. That is. Now, this is Consumer Protection Act. Question number 95, Consumer Protection Act, 2019. So, earlier Copra Act was fully amended and new act was passed by the Parliament on Consumer Protection Act 2019. It came with effective from 9th August 2019. 9th August 2019. This Consumer Protection Act 2019 with amendments 9 August 2019. Normally, complaints under Consumer Protection Act should be settled within 3 months. Should be dealt within means should be settled within 3 months normally. And in case of testing, the products are going to be tested in maximum 5 months. Without testing 3 months, with the testing 5 months. The complaints has to be resolved, settled. Limitation period for filing cases under Consumer Protection Act is 2 years from the date of cause of action. Means from the date of cause of action, defect identified, 2 years they can file a case with this. Then under Consumer Protection Act, they had increased the pecuniary jurisdiction limits, enhanced to district commission, district forum or district commission. They can entertain cases up to 1 crore. District commission can be entertained pecuniary jurisdiction cases up to 1 crore. State commission 1 crore to 10 crores. 1 crore and above and up to 10 crores. The complaints within the range of 1 crore and above up to 10 crores can be entertained by state commission. National commission, that is there in Delhi, about 10 crores limits is entertained by national commission. This is the appeal. This is the pecuniary limits. District forum commission up to 1 crore. State commission 1 to 10 crores. National commission about 10 crores. Then appeal against district commission, district consumer forum order. If anybody want to go to state commission, yes, he can go within 45 days from the date of order of the district commission forum. And at the time of appeal to state commission, state forum, you have to pay 50% of the amount of the district forum amount you have to pay. Appeal against district consumer to state within 45 days and you have to deposit with 50% of the amount of district consumer order. Appeal against state consumer to national commission. State commission to national commission within 30 days from the order of the state commission, and at the time of appeal they have to deposit 50% of the amount to be deposited of the state commission order. Then appeal against national commission order to Supreme Court. If anybody want to appeal a national commission order, yes, they can go within 30 days. It may be extended up to when 50% of the amount to be deposited for filing an appeal. So these are the latest changes in Consumer Protection Act, effective from 9th August 2019. All the points are relevant, updated points, important for legal and regulatory aspect of banking, principle and practice of banking, and for all the promotional examination also, this is important. DEF, question number 96, Depositors Education and Awareness Fund 2014. Banking Regulation Act 1949, Section 26A, Depositor Education and Awareness Fund was created by RBI. Unclaimed deposits or inoperative deposits more than 10 years and above, the amounts of the deposits are going to be transferred under this fund, Deposit Education and Awareness Fund. Now, what is the guidelines? What is the question? How much rate of interest on these funds RBI is paying to banks? Now, payment of interest to banks on these amounts, 3.5% simple interest per annum with effect from 1st July 2018 onwards. RBI is paying to banks 3.5% on these depositors education awareness fund account balance is there. On that balances, RBI is paying rate of interest 3.5 to banks. This is important. DEF, Depositors Education Awareness Fund. Under which section? 26A of Banking Regulation Act 1949. And how many years inoperative? 10 years inoperative or unclaimed deposits also more than 10 years. All banks have to transfer to Deposit Education and Awareness Fund scheme. This is question number 96, DEF. Question number 97, Principle of Subrogation. Under Principle of Subrogation, the means the recompense of the rights of an assured in favor of the insurer, means insurance company. Subrogation means recompense of the rights of an assured in favor of the insurer. What is the meaning of this? After payment of claims by the insurance company to the policy holder, again the insurance company may proceed against the concerned person who had created damage to the policy holder. That is called subrogation, means recompense of the rights of the assured in favor of the insurer. This is called 97 Principle of Subrogation. Question number 98, SEBI functions, Principle and Practice of Banking. Normally this is very important for all. SEBI was established on 12th April 1992. SEBI is the regulator of capital market. SEBI is the regulator of capital market. What is the SEBI functions? To protect the interests of investors in securities market. Investors' interest protection in securities market means in capital market. Securities means bonds, debentures, shares, that. To promote the development of security market. Capital market development is also one of the function of SEBI. To regulate the business in stock exchanges. Since SEBI is the capital market regulator, stock exchanges are also part of capital market. So, regulating the business of stock exchange in India also will be the SEBI and any other securities market. So, these are the important function. Protect the interest of investors, promote the development of securities market, to regulate the business in stock exchanges. That these are the so many other functions are also there. These are the major important functions of SEBI. Securities Exchange Board of India. Question number 99. Functions of IRDA. IRDA means Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act. IRDA. This is the regulator for insurance sector. IRDA is the regulator for insurance sector in India. It was established in 1919, IRDA Act. This IRDA overall supervision and development of the insurance sector, that is the major function. What are the functions of IRDA? Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. Functions: to protect the interest of insurance policy holders. The persons who are purchasing, taking the insurance policy holders, their interests have to be protected by the IRDA. Any insurance company is not following the guidelines. To regulate the insurance business, to promote the insurance business, to ensure orderly growth of the insurance industry. To ensure not only regulate and promote, growth is also required. Growth, orderly growth of the insurance industry is also, that is the function of IRDA. And for matters connected with the insurance. So, IRDA function to protect the interest of policyholders, to regulate, to promote and ensure orderly growth of the insurance. This is the functions of IRDA. Both the SEBI functions of IRDA, May 2019. Almost these two questions are very, very important for all the purposes. Question number 100. How much banks, the exam question, what they had asked in the May 2019, how much cooperative banks they can borrow from other banks? That is the question. How much cooperative bank they can borrow from other banks in call money, notice money? How much cooperative banks can borrow in the call money and notice money market? What is the answer? 2% of aggregate deposits at the end of the previous financial year. Cooperative banks are allowed to borrow from other banks 2% of aggregate deposits of the cooperative bank as an end of 31st March of the financial year. Call money means overnight, notice money means 2 to 14 days. Cooperative banks are allowed to borrow call money and notice money 2% of the aggregate. Now, 1 minute you will take others also. Scheduled commercial banks, payment banks, small financial banks and regional rural banks. They are also allowed to borrow in call money and notice money. How much they can borrow? 100% of capital funds of the bank they can borrow during the fortnight, 1 to 14 days. Commercial banks, payment banks, small financial banks, regional banks, they can borrow 100% of capital funds. Here capital funds means tier 1 and tier 2 capital. On fortnight basis. On any one day, specific day, they can borrow 125%. Normally 1 to 14 days normally allowed 100% of capital funds, that is tier 1 and tier 2 capital. On any one day, they can borrow 125. Primary dealers, how much they can borrow in call money, notice money? 225% of net one funds. Primary dealers are also allowed to borrow 225. Then, how much they can lend to others? Prudential limits for lending to others. That was the earlier limits are there. Now, RBI has given the lending to other banks, others has to be taken by the respective boards. Now, these questions, the exam question they had asked in May 2019. How much a cooperative bank can borrow in call money, notice money from other banks? That is 2% of aggregate deposits at the end of the previous. So this slide is overall important for all the papers. This is the question number 100. Thank you very much, viewers, for extending wholehearted support. We are also conducting JAB classes morning 6 to 8 for JAB. CAB evening 7:30 to 9:30 evening. Regular classes, daily classes, regular classes are there. Thank you very much for all for extending support to our channel. Thank you very much.